Imagine it's the spring of 1979. America is still recovering from the second oil crisis. Gas prices are high, the muscle car era of the 1960s and early 70s is long gone, and Ford is about to release a brand new Mustang. When the covers came off, a lot of people were shocked. This new Mustang was smaller, lighter, and looked completely different from the big, heavy, chrome-laden Mustangs of the previous generation. Some traditional fans immediately hated it. They called it a disco Mustang, a secretary's car, and said it wasn't a real Mustang at all. Almost no one at the time could imagine that this car would eventually become one of the most modified, raced, celebrated, and loved Mustangs in the entire history of the name. This is the complete, no-holds-barred story of the Fox Body Mustang, the 1979 to 1993 generation that started life as one of the most controversial Mustangs ever, and ended up becoming a true American icon. To understand how the Fox Body came to exist, we need to go back to the difficult situation Ford was facing in the late 1970s. The previous Mustang generation, 1971 to 1978, had become extremely heavy, bloated, and expensive to build. Fuel economy standards were getting stricter every year after the oil crises, and sales were dropping. The Mustang name was in real danger of being discontinued or turned into something completely different. Ford needed a new Mustang that was lighter, more fuel-efficient, cheaper to produce, and still exciting enough to carry the legendary name. The solution was the Fox Body platform. This was a new rear-wheel drive platform Ford was already using for the Ford Fairmont and Mercury Zephyr sedans. It was lighter and more modern than the old platforms. Ford decided to build the new Mustang on this platform to save development costs and time. The project was ambitious. They wanted a car that could appeal to a new generation of buyers while still keeping the spirit of the Mustang alive. When the 1979 Fox Body Mustang was revealed, the reaction was strongly divided. The styling was sharp, angular, and very 80s. It had a lower, wider stance than the previous model, with a distinctive front end and a fastback roofline on the hatchback versions. Many traditional Mustang fans were disappointed. They wanted a big, powerful, chrome-heavy muscle car like the 1960s and early 70s models. Instead they got something that looked more European and modern. Magazines at the time were mixed. Some praised the improved handling and efficiency, while others said Ford had lost the soul of the Mustang. But Ford had a clear strategy. The Fox Body was designed to be a versatile platform that could be everything from an economy car to a performance machine. It was significantly lighter than the previous generation, hundreds of pounds lighter in some cases. This made it more fuel-efficient and gave it better handling. The suspension was updated with McPherson struts in the front and a 4-link rear setup, which gave the car surprisingly sharp handling for its time. Early Fox Body Mustangs, 1979 to 1982, were not particularly fast. Due to strict emissions regulations, the engines were relatively weak. The base 2.3-liter 4-cylinder and the 3.3-liter inline-six were adequate for daily driving but not exciting. The V8 versions were better, but still not what enthusiasts wanted. However, things started to change quickly. In 1982 Ford brought back a proper 5.0-liter V8 in the GT model. The car suddenly had real performance again. The 1983 to 1986 GTs became popular with a new generation of Mustang fans who appreciated the lighter weight and better handling. The real turning point for the Fox Body came in 1987. Ford introduced a significantly improved 5.0 high-output V8 with roller lifters, better cylinder heads, and more power. Combined with the new BorgWarner T5 5-speed manual transmission in many models, the Fox Body GT finally became a true performance car. Horsepower numbers climbed, and the car became a favorite among street racers and enthusiasts. At the same time, the aftermarket scene for the Fox Body exploded. Because the car was relatively light and the platform was simple, it was incredibly easy and cheap to modify. Drag racers, street machiners, and weekend warriors started building extremely fast Fox Body Mustangs. Some of them were running low 10-second quarter miles on the street. This is where the Fox Body story becomes really interesting. A car that was hated by many traditionalists in 1979 became one of the most modified and celebrated Mustangs by the late 1980s and early 1990s. The Fox Body proved that sometimes the most hated car at launch can become a legend over time. In the next part we will go much deeper into the technical evolution, the different special models like SVO, the drag racing scene, the Saleen and Cobra versions, and how the Fox Body went from zero to absolute hero in the Mustang world. The real performance story of the Fox Body Mustang begins in the mid-1980s. While the early 1979 to 1982 models were relatively tame due to emissions regulations and fuel economy pressures, things started to heat up significantly from 1983 onward. In 1982 Ford brought back a 5.0-liter V8 in the GT model, but the big leap came in 1987. Ford introduced a revised high-output 5.0 V8 with roller lifters, better cylinder heads, a more aggressive camshaft, and improved intake. Power jumped, and the car became a real performer. The combination of the lighter Fox body platform and this stronger engine made the GT a serious threat on the street. Many owners began modifying their cars heavily, and the Fox body quickly became the go-to platform for budget-friendly performance builds. One of the most important developments was the aftermarket support. Because the Fox body was relatively simple mechanically, cheap to buy, and very light, it became incredibly popular with drag racers, street machiners, and weekend warriors. People started installing superchargers, nitrous kits, bigger cams, and aftermarket heads. Some Fox bodies were running 10-second quarter miles on the street with relatively basic modifications. The car's low weight, many GTs were under 3,000 pounds, gave it a huge advantage in acceleration. Ford also released several special performance versions that helped build the legend. The most famous was the SVO Mustang, produced from 1984 to 1986. Named after Ford's special vehicle operations, the SVO was a factory effort to create a more serious performance Mustang. It featured a turbocharged 2.3-liter four-cylinder engine, unique bodywork, bigger brakes, and upgraded suspension. While it wasn't as powerful as the V8 cars, it was a technological showcase and helped prove that Ford was serious about performance. In 1989 Ford introduced the limited edition 5.0 LX, and in 1993 they released the famous Mustang Cobra. The Cobra had a more powerful 5.0 V8, better suspension, bigger brakes, and unique styling. These cars were the high point of Fox body performance from the factory. The 1993 Cobra is especially sought after today by collectors. The Fox body also had a huge presence in motorsports. It was very successful in drag racing, road racing, and even IMSA racing. Many private teams built extremely fast Fox bodies for competition. The car's lightweight and strong rear axle made it an ideal platform for high horsepower builds. Some of the wildest Fox body drag cars were running mid-8-second quarter miles with massive turbos and nitrous. By the late 1980s and early 1990s the reputation of the Fox body had completely flipped. The same car that was criticized in 1979 was now one of the most respected and modified Mustangs ever. Enthusiasts loved how easy and cheap it was to make fast. The aftermarket was massive, everything from suspension kits to body kits to engine parts was available. The Fox body became the foundation for thousands of street machines and drag cars across America. The final years of the Fox body, 1991 to 1993, were the strongest. The 5.0 engine was at its peak, the cars had better brakes and suspension than early models, and the styling had aged surprisingly well. When production ended in 1993 to make way for the all-new SN95 Mustang, many fans were sad to see the Fox body go. But its influence lived on. The SN95 Mustang used many lessons learned from the Fox body platform. The Fox Body Mustang proved something important. Sometimes a car that is hated at launch can become a legend over time if it has the right ingredients. It was light, modifiable, affordable, and had a strong V8. Those qualities turned it from a controversial newcomer into one of the most iconic Mustangs ever built. In the final part we will talk about the lasting legacy of the Fox body, why it is so loved today, current market values, and why it remains one of the best platforms for building a fast, fun, and affordable classic Mustang. When Ford ended production of the Fox Body Mustang in 1993 to make way for the all-new SN95 Mustang, it marked the end of one of the most important chapters in Mustang history. The Fox Body had started life as a controversial and often hated car in 1979, but by the time it was discontinued it had become a true legend, one of the most modified, raced, and loved Mustangs ever built. Today the Fox Body Mustang is highly sought after by enthusiasts of all ages. Clean, original examples are becoming collector cars, especially the GTs, Cobras, and special editions. Modified Fox bodies with big horsepower are still extremely common at car shows, drag strips, and cruise nights across America. The car's lightweight, strong rear axle, and huge aftermarket support make it one of the best platforms for building a fast, fun, and relatively affordable performance car. What made the Fox body so special in the end was its perfect combination of qualities. It was light, cheap to buy and modify, had a strong V8, and was simple enough mechanically that regular people could work on it. These characteristics turned it from a car that many traditionalists disliked in 1979 into one of the most celebrated Mustangs of all time. The Fox Body proved that sometimes the most hated car at launch can become a legend if it has the right ingredients and enough time. The influence of the Fox Body is still felt today. Many of the lessons Ford learned during its development were carried over to later Mustangs. The SN95 generation that replaced it in 1994 used many of the same basic ideas: good handling, strong V8 power, and a versatile platform. The Fox Body also helped keep the Mustang name alive during difficult times and paved the way for the modern Mustang's success. For current and future owners, the Fox Body offers something special. Whether you want a clean original GT for weekend cruising, a drag car with massive horsepower, or a street machine with modern suspension and brakes, there is a Fox Body for almost every taste and budget. Parts are still relatively affordable and widely available. The community around the Fox Body is one of the strongest in the entire automotive world. The Fox Body Mustang didn't try to be perfect. It had its flaws. Some early cars had build quality issues, the interior was a bit cheap in places, and the styling was polarizing. But it had character. It had soul. And over time that character won people over. It went from being the disco Mustang that traditionalists hated to becoming one of the most respected and loved Mustangs in history. The Chevrolet Corvette C4, the Jeep Cherokee XJ, and the Cadillac Fleetwood all told important stories about American automotive culture. But the Fox Body Mustang perhaps tells the most human story of all, a car that was misunderstood at first, but eventually proved everyone wrong through sheer performance, adaptability, and the passion of its fans. Thank you for watching this deep dive into the history of the Fox Body Mustang. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe for more detailed stories about iconic American cars. In the comments tell us, what is your favorite year or variant of the Fox Body Mustang? Are you Team 5.0 GT, SVO, Cobra, or a heavily modified street machine? Would you daily drive a Fox Body today? See you in the next video.